Occasionally, a news story will cross your screen, and it's hard to believe it's real. Yesterday, we read a kind of press release that announced the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, this Friday will be headed over to the Clinton family's fake charity, the Clinton Global Initiative, which exists to reduce obesity or something like that. It's fake. But she's going over there to discuss the effect of COVID on women and girls with Bill Clinton. They will not be discussing the effect on women and girls of Jeffrey Epstein. That probably won't come up. But after speaking to noted feminist Bill Clinton, Kamala Harris will naturally speak to Bernie Madoff for investment advice and then maybe talk real estate with a homeless guy. This is one of those stories that makes you think, maybe it's all an elaborate prank. They've got to be trolling us here. Is it real? Here to assess this is Mark Stein. We're happy to have him on tonight. Hey, Mark. So
Tucker, you left someone out there. You've been talking about him all night. Robert C. Byrd, the Solon of the Senate. Why don't they prop that corpse up at the Clinton Foundation, and Kamala Harris can discuss racism with a experienced Grand Kleagle of the Ku Klux Klan? But you say, are they just pranking us? You watch the coverage from all the Clinton enablers from 20 years ago. You watch the coverage on ABC, CBS, NBC. They'll all be fawning over this rubbish and taking it seriously. If Kamala Harris had any self-respect, she would not sit down and discuss whatever the topic is, the effect of COVID on women, with this particular guy who's insofar as he knows anything about respiratory effects on women, it's from pinning them down and assaulting them. It's disgraceful that she's participating in this.
Well, he knows heavy breathing, that's for sure. But I gotta think, as I watch something like this, they're sitting around the vice president's house and they're thinking, how can we really just kind of give the finger to America? Like, what can we do that's so ridiculous? Let's see if they'll respond. Like, how far can we go?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, the business model of the Clinton Foundation, I think you said it was about obesity. Their big thing is actually diarrhea in Africa. 6% of their money goes to diarrhea in Africa, and the other 94% goes to maintaining the Clintons' lifestyle. And it wasn't quite doing it for them. Because you've got to find a Somali warlord or a Kazakh oligarch willing to pay $2 million to participate in a Zoom call with Chelsea Clinton on diarrhea in Africa. And even the dumbest Kazakh oligarch can see the flaw in that business model. And actually doing this is the Clintons' way of saying we're back in business and there is no limit to the sick joke we're willing to hammer down. We don't care how many face masks you've got on. You got 4, 5, you got the Mexican nose mask. We're still going to hammer this rubbish down your gullet, and the vice president will agree to go along with it.
And there's literally nothing you can do, and we don't care what you think. No. Do you think anybody will laugh at this, at least? Feminist Bill Clinton?
No, it's actually a perfect encapsulation of why we're sliding off the cliff and China has snaffled the world out from under us. For a start, it's a non-issue. I mean, more men die from COVID than women, to the point where Harvard suggests we should actually start giving progesterone to men. And if Fauci goes along with that, if you think this show isn't any good, you should tune in a year from now, because it'll be Marsha Stein being interviewed by Tuckerella Carlson, and you'll want to stand well back from the screen from that. So it's a non-issue, and just to put the icing on the cake, they get the person in America who actually symbolizes the humbug and hypocrisy of the Democrats, who treats women like used Kleenex. And as everybody knows, is on the manifest of the Lolita Express with Jeffrey Epstein. And the funny thing about this, Tucker, is if I were all the other liberal Democrats who gave their lives to this party for all their lives, people like Garrison Keillor, who is accused of putting his hand on the small of a woman's back, and boom, 50-year career vaporized. Charlie Rose, 50 years, gone. Matt Lauer, however many, third of a century, gone. And yet this guy survives all the time. He is the Robert C. Byrd of sex fiends. If there were a Ku Klux Klan of sex fiends, a Kleenex Klux Klan or whatever, he would be the Grand Kleagle of the sex fiend clan.
That was a fact avalanche. And I have to say, this didn't go on. I'm glad you mentioned Garrison Keillor. I mean, he's kind of a, wet Minnesota liberal, but he's a very talented man. Very talented man. And
yeah, but if you're a wet Minnesota liberal and you've given your life to this, why you think of here Clinton skates and he doesn't? I'd be rethinking my life if I was in his situation.
I'll bet he is. Mark Stein, it's great to see you tonight, as always. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Tucker.